following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Welcome to a Friday edition of Main Street Sports Tech, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Oh, it is crazy week coming to an end because it's a crazy weekend on the horizon as we get you set for a night of high school football, of course, across the mid-state here in Middle Tennessee, and a weekend full of great college football games. We've got a fantastic show for you. Jim Dunaway is going to join us here in just a few minutes to talk about Tennessee and Alabama. We're also going to give you our college football picks from across the country, 10 of the best games from across the country. We'll pick those against the spreads. So, yeah, we've got a lot to get to here on this Friday show, and Mo is donning the NL East champion gear.
This is the gear that actually got to be given out and sold and that kind of thing, as opposed to a different shade of blue and orange that had to be pulled off the shelves.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Thing of beauty. It is. Thing of beauty. We'll also talk about the Braves later, of course. I mean, the Braves are going to be playing in Game 3 as soon as we get off the air at 3:37. Yeah, so we'll get off the air, and you guys can watch the first pitch. So we'll get you ready for that as well. A lot to get to. SEC football previews. We'll react a little bit to last night and so much more. But before we do anything, Mo, let's hop into our first segment. Every day, this is what we're going to do. Give you yesterday's results, today's schedule, this weekend schedule, not just today, all weekend long schedule right here. And we'll do that for you on The Rundown.
Here's The Rundown.
The Friday Rundown is brought to you by Chip Walters of Exit Realty by Lamb Associates. The voice of the Blue Raiders also wants to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Contact Chip at 615-542-1915 or through his website at choosechip.net. Chip Walters, proud to support youth sports across Middle Tennessee.
Thursday football action. It was Creekwood 31-3 wins over Hillwood. Giles County gets a 43-21 win over Sequatchie County. Marshall County a 69-0 winner over Glencliff. While Laverne, big win over John Overton, 33-8. It was Mount Juliet 52, Republic 0, and Trousdale County 20, Whites Creek 16.
In sectional volleyball action, these winners all advance to state tournament action next week in Murfreesboro. Brentwood with a 3-0 win over Station Camp, with Houston defeating Clarksville 3-0. Cleveland with a 3-0 win over Oakland. Collierville 3, Dixon County 0. Creekwood 3, Lawrence County 0. A lot of shout-outs here. Summertown 3-0 over Harpeth. Lebanon with a 3-0 win over Bradley Central. Loretta 3, Camden Central 0. Sale Creek blanked East Robertson 3-0. In 5 games, Murfreesboro Central with a 3-2 winner over Sycamore. Hillsborough 3, Ravenwood 2. That's got to be a little bit of an upset at the AAA level.
40 years since Hillsborough made its last trip.
Hillsborough
made its last trip to the state volleyball tournament.
And I don't know how long it's been since Ravenwood didn't go. So, Eagleville with a 3-1 win over Watertown as well.
Girls soccer action is Battleground Academy 4-1 winners over Franklin Road Academy. Cheatham County 40, Hickman 2. Culleoka 2-1 winners over Huntland. You can find the full story on MainStreetMurray.com. Station Camp 2-0 over Gallatin. Merrill High 10-0 over Independence Academy. Mount Juliet 8, Wilson Central 0. Grace Christian out of Franklin, a 3-2 winner over Nashville Christian. Page 1-0 over Murfreesboro Central Magnet. Stewart's Creek 3-2 over Siegel. Smith County 3-1 over Watertown. And Sycamore defeats Fairview 3-0.
In National Hockey League action, the Nashville Predators had their home opener at Bridgestone Arena and fell to the Dallas Stars 4-1 last night. NBA preseason play, Memphis Grizzlies with a 126-111 win over the Pistons of Detroit. And in the ALDS, it was the Astros taking a 2-0 lead in their series with a 4-2 win over Seattle. High school football action tonight at 6:30 in Chattanooga. Friendship Christian will face East Hamilton at 6:30 Central Time. All other games are 7 o'clock Central kickoffs unless otherwise stated. Rockvale at Blackman. Cascade hosts Loretto. Good Pasture travels to Davidson Academy. Father Ryan takes on visiting McCallie. Richland is at Forest. Beach is at Gallatin. Greenbrier hosts Pearl Cone. And Baylor is at Hendersonville.
Huntland playing host to Eagle tonight. Jackson Central Mary hosting Ezel Harding. It's Grace Baptist Chattanooga at Lancaster Christian. It's Columbia Central at Lincoln County. Lipscomb County hosting Pure Youth Athletic Alliance. DCA is at Mount Juliet Christian. Summertown at Mount Pleasant. It's National Christian playing host to Columbia Academy. Pope Prep at home against Knoxville Catholic. Station Camp goes to Portland, while Oakland's at Riverdale. Stewart's Creek goes to Siegel, and Smyrna hosts Dixon County.
Also, Spring Hill hosts Franklin County at 7. Lawrence County is at Tullahoma. Webb School takes on visiting Middle Tennessee Christian. East Robertson travels to Westmoreland, and White House hosts Stewart's Creek. Again, all those games are at 7 o'clock local time. Saturday volleyball action at 2 o'clock. Briarcrest Christian is at Father Ryan. At 6 o'clock, Brentwood Academy travels to Knoxville Catholic. Other volleyball games on Saturday, times unknown. Harpeth is at Baylor. North Point Christian is at Battleground Academy. Providence Christian is at Boyd Buchanan. Middle Tennessee Christian goes to Silverdale Academy in Chattanooga. St. Agnes hosts Innsworth, and Good Pasture is at St. George's.
In Major League Baseball action today, it is, let's see here if I can get the most recent score. It is the top of the 6th inning for the Guardians and Yankees, and they are tied at 2. All right. The Yankees lead that series 1-0. Also today in Game 3 series, both tied. The Braves are at the Phillies at 3:37 on FS1. The Dodgers are at the Padres at 7:37 on FS1. On Saturday, the Braves will play Game 4 at Philadelphia at 1:07 on FS1, while the Houston Astros try to close out their series against the Seattle Mariners at 3:07 on TBS. It's Game 3 for the Yankees as they travel to Cleveland for a 6:37 start on TBS. And in Game 4 action, the Dodgers will be at the Padres at 8:37 p.m. on FS1. Sunday, all of these games are if necessary, no times yet. Game 4, Yankees at Guardians on TBS. Game 5, Phillies at Braves on FS1. And Game 5, Padres at Dodgers also on FS1.
Hockey action on Saturday night, 7 o'clock puck drop as the Preds play at Dallas. That game will be televised on Valley Sports South. College football action on Saturday, 2 o'clock kicks. Vanderbilt at Georgia on the SEC Network. Alabama at Tennessee on CBS. Western Kentucky at Middle Tennessee State on ESPN Plus. Can also be heard on WGNS Radio. That's 1450 AM. 3 o'clock on Saturday. Murray State is at Austin Peay. That game is on ESPN Plus, as is Tennessee State at Tennessee Tech at 6. And at 12:30 tomorrow, Cumberland plays at Thomas More. And that is your rundown. Brought to you by ChooseChip.net.
That's right, Chip Walters, the voice of the Blue Raiders and your trusted advisor in real estate, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get to our top story real quick as we make our way into some baseball talk. Sad news today as Hall of Fame relief pitcher, and I remember him just in my head when I think of this guy. I see a Cardinals uniform. But Bruce Sutter passed away, former Cy Young winner. He was 69.
Relief pitcher winning a Cy Young.
It's impressive.
It is impressive. You remember him with the Cardinals there are those who remember him with the Cubs as well. And, that's a pretty rare feat. He and Jason Hayward, I guess, among the few that have played for both those franchises. Obviously, a big rivalry there in the Midwest between those two. But yeah, won a Cy Young with the Cubs and won a World Series as a member of the 1982 Cardinals team. And Rob Manfred says in a statement, "I'm deeply saddened by the news of the passing of Bruce Sutter, whose career was an incredible baseball success story. Bruce ascended from being a non-drafted free agent to the heights of baseball by pioneering the split-fingered fastball. That pitch not only led him to the major leagues, but also made him a Cy Young Award winner with the Cubs and a World Series champion with the 1982 Cardinals. Bruce was the first pitcher to reach the Hall of Fame without starting a game, and he was one of the key figures who foreshadowed how the use of relievers would evolve. Bruce will be remembered as one of the best pitchers in the histories of two of our most historic franchises. On behalf of Major League Baseball, I extend my condolences to Bruce's family, his friends and fans in Chicago, St. Louis, and Atlanta, and throughout the game. In fact, Sutter finished his career with the Braves and picked up his 300th career save as a member of the Braves.
2006 inductee into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So obviously our condolences go to his family and friends and the Major League Baseball community. 69. Doesn't seem all that long ago, I mean, 82 and some of the things that he did over the course of his career, that was right during 82 was my senior year.
Man. Again, and that was 40 years ago. I mean, you think about he was 29 when he won a World Series. He was 26 when he won a Cy Young Award as a reliever. Go figure.
He never started a game.
That's impressive. Mm-hmm. It really is. So our condolences to his family. And, anytime we can get a little Braves connection, we're going to do it. And
there's always a Braves connection.
300 saves and the 300th one with Atlanta in 1988. All right, we are going to take our first break. We're scheduled to be joined by the next round's Jim Dunaway on the other side of this break. I've sent him the link, and he'll be joining us via telephone / on the road to Knoxville. From Birmingham to Knoxville, we'll find out where Jim is at on the other side of a break. So you guys stick around with us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We will be right back after these short messages.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back into Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Chris out alongside the Hall of Famer, NSMA Sports Writer of the Year, Nashville Scene Sports Writer of the Year in Nashville. How many more awards can I give you? I got nothing.
I'll take them all.
Take just
Every one of them. And co-host of the second best sports talk show / podcast
in Nashville,
as voted by readers of the Nashville Scene.
That's right. So excited to have you guys with us here, and thank you so much for voting us in the Nashville Scene's Best of Nashville Awards. We are finishing up our coverage of the third Saturday in October. There's a pretty big showdown heading into Knoxville this weekend, and we've had Tennessee writer Dave Hooker and podcaster from Off the Hook Sports. We've had Amanda LaFrada, who is an Alabama fan but covers Tennessee, and so we finish it off with someone who's covered the Crimson Tide for a long, long time, and that is the host of the Next Round Live, Jim Dunaway. Jim, thanks for joining us, man.
Glad to be here. Hope the audio's okay. I'm in that beautiful drive between Birmingham and Chattanooga right now, so I hope all the audio works okay, and looking forward to the conversation.
It sounds great. That's one thing that we love about this. The internet audio is always better than the cell phone audio for some reason, so it works out really well for us. And so exactly where are you on this drive? You haven't hit
right now
Gadsden yet, have you?
I am about to be in Gadsden. I'm just passing, if you're familiar with the area, I've just passed the old, there used to be a drag strip in Still, Alabama. And I don't know if it's still there or not, but there was a time when some of my buddies at Talladega, when they were in town, would scoot up here as well and do a little racing under different names, and they'd come up here and have fun at the Still drag strip. So I don't know if it's still here, but that's where I'm passing right now.
We do love it. We do love it in the world, in the land of Ryan Brown, as they say up in Northeast Alabama. But Jim, we're looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be an absolute fantastic one. Great weather, great football, great atmosphere. What more can you ask for the third Saturday in October?
Well, nothing. I mean, I've made several of these trips up here in my 30-year career, and I've actually been, you hate to, if you're an Alabama fan, you've enjoyed the last 15 years. I've just hated that the rivalry has felt a little different. I hate coming up to Neyland Stadium, one of my favorite road trips, and, Tennessee fans are gone by mid-third quarter, and you look at all the big booster seats, and Alabama fans have bought the tickets or set in them and moved into them. So it's been different the last few years up here during this 15-year streak. There was a time in my career early on that Alabama didn't have the most challenging schedule, especially early on, and it was the third Saturday in October when you sort of found out how good that Alabama team could be. And I'm excited that I'm waking up some old memories of my childhood this weekend, because I think we get to really see how good this Alabama team can be, and we really find out how good this Tennessee team is.
Yeah, you definitely feel like, obviously, this is Tennessee's biggest challenge thus far, and it might be Alabama's as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, you look at what Tennessee brings to the table. I think this will be by far the best receiving core they will face, not only so far this year, but maybe before the regular season is done, sideline to sideline with the addition of Brew McCoy. You get Tillman back. Hyatt's been good. They go 4 or 5 deep at the receiver position. That could be challenging. Really good answer at left tackle. The offensive line is good. Hooker is a playmaker, throws the deep ball well, can also have that escapability. He's not a typical, run first, throw second kind of guy, but he has enough escapability. We had Henry To'oto'o on our show earlier today, and Henry said that in last year's game, and he played, at Tennessee for a while, but he said in last year's game, he didn't realize how fast Hooker was watching it on tape until he had to play him in the game, and he was faster than he looked on tape. So having that experience will help a little bit, he said today. But, we'll see what Tennessee has defensively. We'll see what Bryce is able to do as he gets into the game. But I'm really excited about Tennessee's receivers against the Alabama secondary. That matchup, I think, will end up being the key to the game.
DUNAWAY of the next round. Here on Sports Today was Tennessee Bone and Joint. And Chris, did Jim just break some news?
Yeah, I think he did. And I've not been following Twitter, but as far as we know, or last we saw, Jim, that Cedric Tillman was still maybe a game time decision. Have you heard differently, or is just Alabama expecting him to play? And if he doesn't, good for them.
Well, our show in Birmingham, we do a lot of gambling. So the point spread was a flat 7 until about 11:45 Central Time, and it bumped up to 9. And to move 2 full points in that little amount of time, that's not somebody making a good bet or something. That's some information that people with noses not as straight as mine probably have gotten. And at least, you don't know. It's not from the coach's mouth or anything like that. The people who do gambling for a living out in Las Vegas obviously believe that is playing.
Yeah, if Bryce Young is playing, then that makes a lot of sense. And even if Cedric Tillman is playing, it's going to make a difference. So we've talked to Drew DeArmond as well earlier. That's what he said. He said if Bryce Young plays, it's a different ballgame. Don't you think that's the case?
I do. I think depending on what he can do. Now, if Bryce can't throw it more than 10 yards down the field, then that's a problem, right? But you got to assume he wouldn't be in there playing if he's not. At least he's not going to be 100%, but if he's not healthy enough to make all the throws they need him to make to win the football game, and just his ability, his composure first off, because Jalen Milroe got a little not frustrated. We'll use the word, got a little shaky at times after the couple of turnovers, got some happy feet, and it took a while to get his confidence back. He lost that confidence. And Bryce is the coolest customer I've ever seen at the quarterback position. So just having him out there to calm down everyone and to handle the crowd and handle the snaps and handle the reads and all of that is a huge asset. Sometimes it's not even throwing the football, it's just checking into the right run play. That could be huge. But if he can throw the ball as well, then that'll be a benefit too. So yeah, if he plays and he's effective, I think that's a lot bigger than Cedric Tillman coming back. Tillman's an unbelievable receiver, but I think Xavier Worthy of Texas is just as good as a healthy Tillman, and Tillman's not 100% healthy. That tightrope surgery is usually a 21-day recovery thing, and that's what it was. I think it was about 20 days when Tua had it and came back, and we all know that Tua wasn't 100% for that LSU game, and he wasn't asked to make the cuts and run with the speed that a receiver has to run with and cut with. And so Tillman, with that same tightrope surgery, I'm not going to be surprised if he plays. In fact, this was probably the target date, but I don't think he'll be close to 100% either. But I don't think that matters as much because they're so talented at the receiver position. The quarterback play with Bryce Young is huge.
Well, this Tennessee secondary has certainly taken some lumps over the last 2 years in the Josh Heupel era, and that just that just goes to the depth that was left by the previous coaching staff or lack thereof. So Alabama obviously is going to game plan as well as anybody. There's no better game planner in the game than Nick Saban. So they're going to have an answer early. How important is it for Alabama to be able to score early to make sure that Tennessee doesn't get out to a 2-touchdown lead or something like that in the first quarter or early second quarter?
Well, I think that's the DNA on every road trip inside the SEC is to sort of neutralize the crowd or not allow the team that's at home to get an early score or two and really get the crowd in play and start playing from behind. And even on the road, Tennessee did that to LSU this past week. That early fumble, and Tennessee jumped on them and didn't let up. And that's been the key to me all season long for Tennessee. In all their big wins so far, they've had a really, really good start. And they rallied for a win against Pittsburgh, which showed me a lot about this team. They've beaten 3 teams that have been ranked at some point this year, but none of those are really impressive wins if you look at where those teams are right now. This will be their biggest test, and them not getting out to a fast start will be key for Alabama. As far as the Volunteers secondary is concerned, I'm not as worried if I'm a Tennessee fan about them because I've yet to see an Alabama receiver that can really pose a tremendous, playmaking difference at that position. For Alabama, they've got to run it. They got to run it well with Jahmyr Gibbs. They got to throw it to Jahmyr Gibbs, and then eventually. If you're looking for a daily fantasy DraftKings play of the day, I would go hard. Anybody in this game, I'd go hard on Cameron Latu. I think Latu is going to have a huge game for Alabama in this matchup just because of the way everything is shaking out.
It's interesting as we speak with Jim Dunaway of the next round here. He mentioned Alabama's receivers, and they're kind of an afterthought in this game. Does that kind of play into Tennessee's situation in the defensive secondary, that they don't have to be, that Alabama's receivers may not be as dynamic as they have been in the past?
You guys are too young to remember this, but there was a place when I was growing up in Alabama. I don't know if everybody had them around the country. It was a place called Bonanza was the name of the little steakhouse we had. It was called Bonanza.
Jim, let me stop you for a second.
Okay.
My first job in Franklin, Tennessee, when I was 15 years old, was working at Bonanza.
Okay. Well, then but Bonanza was a great meal. There was a time in my life I thought it was the best steak in the world, and it was a good meal. I loved it every time. I would go to Bonanza right now if there was one up ahead on this road. A, because I'm hungry. B, I just love a good steak. But we're judging this Alabama receiving core like we are steaks, and the best cut of steaks, the Wagyu, if you will, are all playing in the NFL now. These are still quality receivers that we're judging against the best cut of meat in the wide receiving refrigerator, if you will. These Alabama receivers may just be Bonanza, but my God, they were good. And I'd stick a little medium rare, a little stick in it right now and say, serve that up with that baked potato and that Texas toast and enjoy that wide receiving core at Alabama this weekend. I think they'll make plays. They're just not what we're used to seeing. The Jerry Judys of the world, the Devontae Smiths of the world have spoiled us all when it comes to Alabama receivers. And now I'm hungry for a Bonanza steak.
Yes, so am I. Thanks. I appreciate you putting that in my world, Jim. Jim Dunaway of the Next Round out of Birmingham joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Jim, be safe. We appreciate you visiting with us, and hopefully you maybe you can unearth a bonanza somewhere between where you are and Knoxville.
Oh, no doubt. As soon as I get offline with you guys, I'm gonna go, Siri, is there a bonanza close by? And
Jim,
we'll see what she says.
There may be one in Collinsville. They're still about 30 years behind up there.
Was that a rival? Is that an old rival of yours?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah. I'm not a big Collinsville fan. So.
Ex-girlfriend, you dated a Collinsville cheerleader once and she dumped you. Is that what happened?
It's exactly what happened. As a matter of fact, while I was at Jacksonville State. And it's just,
Getting a little too close.
They can take a hike. No, Jim, we appreciate your time. Follow Jim Dunaway at Jim Dunaway on Twitter and at Next Round Live. You can find them live each and every day from 9 to 1. It is a fantastic show. I promise you definitely want to subscribe to it and go listen to it. It's one of the best sports talk shows in the Southeast. Jim, you guys are awesome, and I appreciate you taking time with us.
No problem, guys. Enjoy the football weekend. It should be fun.
Yes, sir. All right, we're going to take a short break here, and Mo, I still don't know about this this Cedric Tillman information, but
I think it's definitely going to be a game time decision, and I wouldn't really put anything into it until we see either number 4 in shoulder pads or in sweats.
Yeah, or the opposite. So, and last week, Bryce came out fully dressed
For
warm-ups. He was fully dressed last week for the Tide, but in warm-ups, he didn't even take a snap. It was, so I don't know if he just wanted to be out there and just get dressed and keep his routine kind of going. But Bryce,
or if someone else wanted him out there.
Well, I mean, if you're going to,
but here's the thing: if you're going to dress, why would you not
warm up?
Yeah.
So I don't know what the deal was there, but anyway, it's gonna be a fantastic weekend. And tomorrow morning we will cut out that interview with Dave Hooker, Drew DeArmond, Amanda LaFronda, and Jim Dunaway. We'll cut those interviews out. We'll have them available for you as you get ready for
your listening pleasure as you are making your way
wherever you may be going. If you're on the Tennessee River, riding up from Huntsville
as part of the Ball Army or the Tide Army.
Well, so
Huntsville is probably kind of like some
is.
of our southern Middle Tennessee towns. There's a little crossover right there.
And
one of the greatest balls of all time is from Huntsville.
Well, Joey Kent from Huntsville.
I wasn't even thinking about Joey, but yeah, you're right.
We were talking about that earlier.
And I don't know why I didn't think about Joey because I actually covered Joey. Yeah.
But Cottonridge Holloway was from Huntsville.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of crossover right there is the point. So yeah, they might be Ball Army or they might be Alabama fans doing something a little out of the ordinary because you certainly can't take a boat to Tuscaloosa.
No, but the Tide. You can drive the Alabama River up to the Tennessee River and take it right on over. I do have some friends who have done that.
That would really be cool.
They started on like Monday and took a boat all the way to Knoxville from Town Creek and just hopped
in. Did it take that long, or did they just because
they were like a pontoon boat? I mean, it wasn't like they were.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, you gotta like be prepared to take that trip via water.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you can stop along the way, but darn.
Well, I mean, I've never been on a boat like that, so I didn't know how long that trip would take. And clearly, I mean, I don't know how fast boats move or anything.
No, it's probably. I mean, by the time you stop and and you're probably idling while you sleep. So, yeah, I mean, if you
that'd be interesting. If anybody has a boat that goes to UT games and wants to invite me along one weekend and kind of educate me, I'm up.
Always down for it. All right, we are going to take that break right now. When we come back, though, we are going to have a look at the rest of the SEC football schedule. So plenty of that to get to here. And we'll do that right after this on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee sports editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best-looking girl, Bananarama, so the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.
We're back. There we are.
It's a heck of a break.
Man, it was
assuming it was a break.
It was a break in there somewhere. It's a break in there somewhere. Thanks for sticking with us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We've got a before we get to the SC football, last night, orange helmets for the Chicago Bears. First time in franchise history.
Really?
And it was what was worse, the football plate or the orange helmets / orange jerseys from Chicago?
I got to be honest with you. I didn't see any of it.
Well,
I mean,
you haven't seen any pictures?
No.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't. I was otherwise detained and did not have the good fortune to see that 12-7 ball game. Good Lord. Thursday night football has not been great.
No, Thursday night football has been less than stellar, as some might say. Yeah, I'm not sure which one was worse. If it was the jerseys, let's see here. See if you can see this. We'll take a full screen.
That's different.
Orange jersey, orange helmet, and then the Commanders with what some called arena football style uniform with the weird number there.
That's a different font. I don't have a problem with the Washington uniform necessarily, and I don't really have a problem with the Bears. It's just different for them. They're so. Again, the Bears uniform has always, they kind of remind you of Penn State in terms of Penn State or Alabama. This is what we do. They don't really mess with their look a whole So that's a little different. And be careful what you say about the orange helmets, because apparently somebody's rolling those out tomorrow afternoon as well.
You think?
It's been reported.
No. Tennessee Vol _football, the official Twitter account of Tennessee football, had the orange dot, white dot, orange dot tweeted out with the white helmet, orange shirt, white pants. So
You just said orange dot, white dot, orange dot.
No, white, orange, white.
Well, you said orange, white, orange. But what I'm telling you is somebody said that they're wearing orange helmets for the first time since 1939.
If they do, I'll be shocked it isn't orange out. But the official account, the official UT Twitter account, says they're wearing a white helmet. Now, that's not to say they're not, but I would be surprised, put it that way. But yeah, I'm just not a fan of orange helmets. It looks weird to me. And not because it's the Bears or anything at all. Orange helmets in general are just odd. I haven't seen many of them.
Cleveland and Cincinnati at the professional level have worn them. I can't think of very many others.
Well, yeah, Cleveland's is, I guess, but Cincinnati's with enough of the black that you don't really.
Well, I mean, I'm going back. Cleveland's at one time was just orange, just a brown stripe down the middle, and the Bengals was just orange with the Bengals in black print across on either side. But yeah, it's not something that you see very often.
That being said, 12-7 on Thursday night last week was what?
12-9 in overtime.
I mean.
And let's see, next week, you've got a matchup of 2-2-3 teams. The Saints go to Arizona. The following week, you should have a decent game at Baltimore at Tampa Bay. And that's followed by Philadelphia currently at 5-0, at Houston 1-3-1. But I mean, it's not a great slate. Week 11, Tennessee is at Green Bay in a game that a couple of members of my household are actually going to. So that'll be interesting.
Well, I assume it's not the cat, so it must be you.
No, it's Jody and her son Austin are going. Yeah, they're flying up.
Oh, they're going. Oh, it's in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Yeah. But yeah, as you look at these matchups, and I had this conversation with somebody on Facebook yesterday, the NFL didn't do Amazon Prime a whole lot of favors, doesn't look like.
And yet, viewership
aren't
is
great
up.
Games. Really?
Viewership is up for Thursday Night Football.
For 12-7 and 12-9 in overtime?
Well, I mean, it may have just been just the first week, but.
Well, the first couple of weeks, because the first week was San Diego and Kansas City.
But that was on.
Oh, no, that wasn't. Yeah, you're right.
Prime.
Yeah, so when did Amazon Prime take it over?
It was the week before that Denver game last week.
Okay, so it was Miami and Cincinnati.
Yes. So that game.
That was the first Amazon Prime game?
Drew more viewers than any other Thursday night game from last season.
Well, that was
which I think a lot of people just wanted to hear Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit.
Well, and I'd imagine a few folks wanted to see Joe Burrow and Tua.
And then they saw Tua. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, Thursday Night Football it's an experiment that they're not going away from. It's not going anywhere, unfortunately, because it's a primetime game that it's the only game, and people are going to watch it just because it's the NFL. And as I said last night, I would have much rather been watching West Virginia Baylor because it was
sounds like
a very good football game. And it was sloppy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the football is better. I'm not saying the quality is better. I'm saying it's more
entertaining. Yeah.
And if I'm watching football for entertainment value, I'm watching Baylor and West Virginia every time over the Bears and Commanders. Are you kidding me? I did feel better, though, because Yeah, the Washington Commanders defensive line with Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen, it's sick. I mean, they deserve better.
Mm-hmm.
They really do because they're really good. And I hate it for them because they deserve better.
I'm sitting here looking at a meme that I will show you when we get into the break relative to this conversation.
I can't wait.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Let's talk about the SEC football slate. Auburn is at Ole Miss. That's an 11 o'clock kick on ESPN. Auburn going to Oxford trying to, woo their coach.
Trying to right the ship a little bit, as it were.
Trying to woo the coach for Ole Miss.
Oh. Ooh.
That's what they want. It's not going to happen.
No.
But that's what they want. Lane Kiffin's waiting for one job and one job only, and it's about 70 miles east of where he currently is.
It's far than that, isn't it?
It's depends on which way you go, but no, I don't think so. To 43 and then south. Take 22 to 43 south. Yeah, that's not that far.
I think Auburn's going to get a former Ole Miss coach. I don't think it's going to be Lane Kiffin.
Go get Ed Ogeron?
No. That dude up in Lynchburg. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going down the list.
Yeah. You're going to get
Ed Cliff. Houston Nutt. Forgot he was at Ole Miss for a minute.
He liked it.
Yeah, because that's when they lost to Jacksonville State.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ole Miss and Auburn. This is Ole Miss a 15-point favorite, and that seems awfully low to me.
Yeah, given the way they score, yeah, this is the breakfast game in the SEC. 12 o'clock Eastern, 11 Central. So the Grove won't be good and rocking, but
that's unfortunate too.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Vanderbilt is at Georgia. Georgia is a 38-point favorite.
That's crazy.
This one, 38.
Oof.
Well, the last one they were a 38-point favorite. Didn't work out so well in their favor.
Was that
Missouri?
Once bitten, twice shy.
This one, though, at Georgia.
Yeah, that was at Como. Yeah.
Can Vanderbilt make it respectable? Can they beat the spread?
Can Vanderbilt beat the spread?
I think they can.
I think they can. Yeah, I mean, I think this becomes a question of how long Georgia stays on the gas.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, if they ease up and Vanderbilt scores 2 or 3 in the fourth.
Can they afford to ease up after 2 lackluster performances the last couple of weeks?
Well, no, they can't afford to, but that doesn't mean that they, you run the reserves out there, Mandy keeps their starters in and things happen.
Yeah.
I feel like Georgia covers.
It's an interesting ball game.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we'll talk about Alabama, Tennessee in the final segment. Arkansas traveling to Provo.
I don't know what to make of this Arkansas team.
Well, apparently KJ Jefferson didn't play last week. And I don't know if he's going to play this week.
Well, that certainly makes them different.
Well, he's their entire team.
And I certainly did not know that because I was a little off the.
You were busy last week.
I was busy. I mean, I was out of however you'd want to say it. I mean, I was kind of out of touch as it related to college football last weekend, so I didn't realize he didn't play in that game. But I do know that Arkansas didn't play very well, and would have expected them to play a little better even without him. But clearly, that wasn't the case. So. Yeah.
I don't see anything that says he's going to play or not going to play. I'm just going to assume that he's not playing based on
So BYU by how much?
Yeah, they're a 1-point favorite. So
At home?
Yes. So
that's
Arkansas is a 2-point favorite on a neutral site.
Hmm. It's a pick 'em, but I mean,
I think Arkansas is fast, but I don't know that they can stop Jaron Hall.
Yeah, I mean, it might come down to their defense, and we've talked about their defense and Catalan being gone and some of the other issues that they've had over there. Yeah, so
horrid.
So, I mean, it might not be as much Arkansas's offense that is the key to this thing as it is, like you said, their defense.
Yeah, I think Jaron Hall probably throws for 350 in this one.
Yeah, and I tend to go with BYU at home.
Yeah, I agree. I think they win and cover that 1 point.
The 1 point, yeah.
I don't think it's going to be 21-20.
Well, I mean, if they win, then obviously.
Well, if they can win and not cover, it could be a push, but I think they cover the one. LSU is at the Swamp at Florida. This is an interesting game. 2.5-point favorite is the Gators. But I'm telling you right now that Anthony Richardson is going to have to win this football game for LSU. I'm not sure he can do it because I think Jaden Daniels and his skill set is a problem for this Florida defense.
I think Jaden Daniels and his skill set can be a problem for this defense, but as we heard Ron Higgins say last week, and as we saw at times during that game this past weekend, his reluctance to push the ball up vertically in the passing game and take full advantage of their receiving core is an issue.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's arm strength. I don't know if he can't read it. I don't know what the situation is, or if maybe he doesn't feel like his receivers are getting the necessary separation to make those plays downfield. I don't know what it is, but I mean, you saw it in that UT game. They didn't throw. They threw peripherally. They didn't attempt a lot of big balls.
I think he could run for 120 in this game. I really do. I think Florida's defense in the front seven is just not good enough. And I think he could run for 120. He may not attempt 15 passes. Now they may drop back for more than 15, but I don't know that he throws it 15 times. I'm telling you, it's just going to be so wide open.
Well, I'm going to tell you this: if he doesn't throw it 15 times, his receivers may mutiny.
Yeah, Butte's not happy.
Well, I mean, this is a guy who coming into the year was kind of 1A to Cedric Tillman's 1 as the top receivers in the Southeastern Conference.
Should have came to Tennessee, Butte.
How many games has he played?
Could certainly use him right now.
Yeah.
Oh, he's definitely played 6 at least. But BJ Ojulari and Anthony Richardson, that's the matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Watch Ojulari against Richardson. If Ojulari gets to him a couple times early, I think LSU wins this football game. Not only do they cover, they win outright.
What is
2.5, so it'd be hard to cover and not win outright.
Yeah, right. I don't know, man. And I might be a little biased from having watched last week's game, but I kind of think Florida at home in particular kind of gets it done here.
I think Tennessee's better than we're giving them credit for sometimes.
That could be too. That could be.
So there's that. All right, let's take a break because we do need to get to the Braves. So Braves chatter on the other side. We'll tell you their lineup. Spencer Strider getting the start, what to expect out of him, all that and much more right here. Tennessee Mornings. Welcome back.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back to Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Mo, some good-looking gear you got on. Got my khaki A, no mullet. It's very important to make
no mullet.
Very important to make that distinction today.
Especially since it's red.
Yeah, you got to be careful. But the Atlanta Braves, Game 3, they'll start Spencer Strider, who has apparently only thrown off of a mound twice in the last 26 days. And perhaps a short leash will be had with the rookie. That being said, Mo, on the year, he has absolutely dominated the Philadelphia Phillies. 4-0 as in wins and losses, 1.21 ERA or something like that.
And I think he's had 10 and 13 strikeout outings against Philadelphia.
Now, what's that fastball going to look like today? That's the question, right? I mean, if he's at his normal pace, I think you might see him, stay out there a little longer. But is it a pitch count that
I think
you've got him on?
I think it's a pitch count. I don't think it
for you.
70, 75.
See, I had 60. I think if you can get him through 4 innings at 60 pitches, I think you'd be in good shape. They're going to run the pitch count up on him. They're going to do their best to take everything they can.
Well, if they're taking everything they can, the way he's typically around the strike zone. And we talked about that at various points over the course of this season. For as much of a strikeout pitcher as he is, he's typically pretty efficient with his pitches as well, which means he doesn't throw a lot of balls.
I think that's the thing is they're going to go up there and try to run that pitch count up, and he's going to sit there and strike you out on the black part of the plate.
Right. I mean, if your intent going up there is to get deep in the count, then you're going to have to be comfortable hitting with 2 strikes. And I don't know if I would want to get to 2 strikes against him.
A comment on Twitter: if we get a game similar to the one he pitched against Milwaukee early in the season, 4 scoreless on 68 pitches, you'll take. I'd take that every time. Now here's the problem: is if he only goes 2 or 3, you're going to tax your bullpen a little bit. Jesse Chavez is going to have to play, and
now the good thing is in game 2. You got an inning each out of Minter, Iglesias, Jansen. So everybody else is relatively clean. Right. So going deep today, if it comes to that, isn't the worst thing. And you've got Charlie tomorrow, who's you're going to go 6 with. And you just hope
Charlie.
And you just hope that he's relatively sharp for those 6. So we'll see.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Now,
interesting lineup.
Are they going Nola?
I assume they are. I am not.
I had not seen their
yes.
lineup.
Yes, it's Nola tomorrow. Nola. It is Nola.
All right.
So
against Nola, we're going to see I assume the left-handers.
You're going to get Acuna, Swanson, Olsen, Riley, Darno behind the plate, Michael Harris II batting 6th, Ozuna, Vaughn Grissom at second base.
Whoa, what?
Mm-hmm. And Eddie Rosario in left.
On the year against Atlanta, Aaron Nola has thrown 34 innings. He's given up 30 hits, 14 earned runs, walked 7, given up 5 homers, and struck out 41 in 34 innings. He's not been good against the Atlanta Braves this year.
He's not been great. He's tough, though.
He's a Game 3 starter,
mm-hmm.
and a guy that you feel like you can win with if you're the Phillies.
Right.
And a guy who's got some experience in the postseason.
He's a guy that if you're the Phillies, you feel like you can win with, and he's a guy that if you're the Braves, you feel like you can beat.
And so, that's what you want in Game 3. Game 3 is kind of the swing game. It's the one where in a 5-game series, this is where this is the game that you want to win more than any other game.
Sure.
Because you're either making sure you don't get swept, or you're taking a 2-1 lead in a 5-game set.
Right.
So Game 3 is really it's the pinnacle game.
And for Atlanta in particular, after losing Game 1 the way they did, you really want to try to build on the momentum that you built with that 3-0 win in Game 2. And so and it sounds it sounds so elementary, but you want to come out and you want to score early and maybe take that home crowd out of it a little bit, to go back to what Jim Dunaway was saying about UT-Alabama. Maybe quiet their crowd down a little bit, give yourself some momentum and a little confidence against a pretty good pitcher in Nola. And then and maybe if you can give Strider a couple of runs early, maybe his margin of error kind of increases a little bit.
Someone mentioned that, and I saw this on Twitter with a reply that made a lot more sense. If he gets run support, you take him out. Don't stress him.
Well, don't stress him, but
not take him out necessarily, but let him throw until he feels like, all right, I'm loose, I'm good, I don't need to go anymore.
My big concern about that is, no matter how good your bullpen is, you don't really know what you're going to get from one day to the next. And so if you start managing to the bullpen, as a certain manager is so good at,
which we have to do.
You may grab a dud out of there one time.
Yeah, Dylan Lee and Jackson Stevens are both and Jesse Chavez too are all capable of giving you a rough outing, but they're also capable of being shut down. So, and those are the three you're going to have to use today to get you to the 7th.
Well, Colin McHugh may be in that mix as well.
Colin McHugh could be in that mix as well. But those are the three you typically would
bridge
go
you
to bridge you to the 7, 8, 9 guys if you're ahead. Look, if we can get 3 innings out of Strider today, if we can get 4, I would be ecstatic. If we can get 3 clean, I'd be happy. If we don't get that, I think we're in trouble.
So, we'll see here in about 30 minutes.
That's right. We will, in fact. And against their starting lineup on the year, or in their career, he's given up 5 hits total to this Philly starting lineup. 3 of those to Alec Bohm.
That guy.
Walk that guy. Do something. Hit him.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to walk him.
And if you're on a pitch count, just,
why throw 4 when you can throw 1?
But
and I'm not advocating violence, but I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
But yeah, so Strider's obviously his road ERA much higher than his home ERA, 3.25. But he's just been so good, and you hope that he's able to get off this oblique and give you something. So looking forward to it. All right. 30 years ago today, one of the biggest moments in Braves history. But is that this day in Braves history? I don't know. Let's find out, Mo.
October 14th, 1992. And I'm reading this directly from baseballreference.com. Pinch hitter Francisco Cabrera delivers a 2-out single in the bottom of the 9th inning, driving in the tying and winning runs for the Atlanta Braves in Game 7 of the NLCS. Cabrera's heroics give the Braves a dramatic 3-2 victory over the Pittsburgh Pirates and a spot in the World Series. That's what baseball-reference.com said happened.
Give us the Mo Patton version.
Yeah, for Braves country, this is when Sid slid.
There you go. That's all you have to ask.
As ex-Pirates first baseman Sid Bream beat the throw from Barry Bonds in left field to cap a 3-run rally in the 9th, following David Justice, who also scored on Cabrera's single, and Terry Pendleton, who doubled and scored earlier in the inning. So when Sid slid.
That's it, Sid Bream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was going to be where you went, but I knew that I'd seen it all day long today.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of tough not to. There were a couple of other.
The anniversary.
Yeah.
30 years.
What do you get for 30 years? What is the 30-year?
What's the 30-year anniversary gift?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. 30-year anniversary gift is pearls. Oh, no. Really? Man, where's Jock when you need him?
Right.
Where is Jock when you need him?
Goodness gracious. That's funny.
That is funny.
That's funny.
Well, that's going to do it for this segment. We'll be right back. We'll give you the 10 biggest games from across college football, or 10 of the biggest, maybe not the biggest, but 10 of the biggest games from across college football. Pick them against the spread right after this on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor-trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor-trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor-trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint.
Have we talked about this? or
No.
was it announced since we were last on the air?
It's been announced since we were last on the air.
College Game Day guest picker, as it originates from Knoxville tomorrow morning on ESPN.
My best Paul Bird impression.
And Joe Rexroad, friend of the show, put it out there on Twitter. Vol fans, how do you feel about this?
I asked the same question on our Twitter. I didn't get any responses.
Well, the responses he got were lies, because the majority of them said they're fine with it. There is no curse, blah, 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 blah.
He was at Florida and at LSU. He was at Florida and at LSU. The cameras just didn't show him.
Wow.
So
well, if the cameras didn't show Peyton Manning, was he there?
I think it's when he's on the sideline. I think there's a
Wait a minute.
difference.
Okay, now
between,
LSU was at Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
Where was Florida in Knoxville?
Because we checkered Neyland.
That's right. Okay. All right. The days run together, man. I'm sorry. I just go back to Notre Dame baseball.
The College World Series, the Super Regional loss was pretty tough.
And Georgia State.
Yeah, it was pretty tough.
He was at the Georgia State game.
I know. Listen, this is what some friends of mine have said, and I'm here for it. At this point, you're playing with house money. If you win, you've broken the curse. If you lose, it's Peyton's fault. But we got to, but a lot of people, and this is, look, Ross Dellinger wrote a story and put out a tweet. He said that he was interviewing Peyton about it for a story, and Peyton asked him not to put in there that he was going to be at the game because they think he's bad luck. He said, quote, "They think I'm bad luck." We got to not alienate Peyton Manning. So figure it out.
So we got to not alienate Peyton Manning, but
while also
when
breaking the curse.
But he keeps showing up and they keep getting beat in big games.
Again, he was at Florida and at LSU allegedly.
So if they lose tomorrow with Peyton on hand, then what?
I don't know. I mean, it's still the number 3 team in the country.
And you're the number 6 team in the country.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
All right. We'll see.
It's not like it's Georgia State is my point.
No, it's not Georgia State, and it's not Notre Dame.
There's a difference in losing to a top 10 team versus losing to Georgia State because he's in attendance. Now, when it's Georgia State, yeah, that he might have been part of it. Now, if Jalen Milroe, trots out there and throws for 385 and 4 touchdowns and no picks, then maybe we talk about it.
Okay. All right. We'll be back Monday.
We'll find out.
No doubt.
All right, let's hop into it. We've got 10 games. We start with the early one.
Okay, now before we start, let's just recap.
Rundown last week.
Yeah, so last week, Yao, you were 6-4 by my calculations.
I'll take it.
To get to 33-26 because we had the odd number of games that got played a week ago. I went 5-5 to also get to 33-26. Justin, who hasn't been picking the entire season, went 4-6 last week, and he is now 9-10 over 2 weeks.
The system also went 6-4.
The system.
Okay, that's what we're going to go with.
All
The
right.
system is the system on the year 6-4 last week, 37-21 overall. The system's pretty good.
All right. Let's not tell the originator of the system that.
We'll start in the Big Ten, 11 a.m. Big Noon kickoff on Fox. It's Penn State at Michigan. And this is number 10 Penn State and number 5 Michigan. Michigan, a 6.5-point favorite. It's a big game in the big house. Justin, you got a thought here?
So we're going with the spread, right? Or
Yep.
one or the other? Okay.
Against the spread.
All right. I'm gonna go Michigan here. I've always been I've always been a fan of them, kinda. If I'm gonna pick a Big Ten team, so yeah, I'm gonna go Michigan.
I've got the Nittany Lions. I think Penn State gets I actually think they win the game.
Money line.
I'm not going to say I like Michigan because I don't, but I'm taking Michigan to cover 6.5. I mean, I think they win the game, especially at home. I'm still not sold on Penn State, but I'm taking Michigan.
I'm still not sold on Jim Harbaugh, so there's that.
You and a bunch of other Wolverine fans.
I think he's going to figure out somewhere to screw it up. He's gonna wear,
I can't argue with you.
He'll wear blue jeans instead of khakis or something tomorrow. Just screw it all up.
Nice.
All right, let's go to number 19, Kansas at Oklahoma. Oklahoma, a 6.5-point favorite after getting an absolute trouncing in the Red River rivalry.
Yes, rivalry.
Rivalry. Kansas, though, without the quarterback, that makes a big difference.
Again, the backup came in and played well against TCU. I mean, they didn't get the win, but I don't know that it was necessarily on him that they didn't. Oklahoma scares me. I just feel like sooner or later they're going to figure it out, and I'm going to
They're too talented not to, right?
And I'm just going to keep going down in flames, picking them.
Sooner or later.
So nice. Good catch. I'm taking OU.
Justin?
I'm going to go Kansas just because of the shellacking last week.
Yeah, I mean, if Kansas's defense is any good at all, they should be able to stop this Oklahoma, because I don't know if Dylan Gabriel is going to play. You know, he was in concussion protocol. So if he's not playing, I'm going Kansas here, but I think it's going to be a defensive slugfest. I think it's going to be one of these, weird Big 12 games where, it's not that they're stopping each other, it's that they just can't score kind of thing.
So
that's where I feel like we're at.
So you're taking Kansas and Norman.
I am taking Kansas and Norman. Would you have believed it?
No, I wouldn't have.
Who'd have thunk it?
Of course, who'd have thunk that Kansas would have gone to Austin last year and won?
Well,
so,
there's that.
Yeah, so. I mean, it's not a bad pick.
No.
I just can't bring myself to make it.
It's hard to do. It's hard to get out of that mindset of it's Kansas and Oklahoma.
Right.
It's just the names in general. The system taking Oklahoma, by the way, because everybody's 77% are on the Jayhawks. So there you go. Iowa State at number 22, Texas. Speaking of the Longhorns, 14.5-point favorites over Matt Campbell and the boys. It's 11 a.m. kickoff on ABC. I'm just going to tell you, Quinn Ewers is the real deal. And this Texas team is going to push for a Big 12 championship. They're going to run They're going to run the table the rest of the way. And I think they covered 14.5 over Iowa State.
Do you think the Texas fans look at Matthew McConaughey coming to their games like we look at Peyton?
No,
not at all.
They like him.
Not at all. Not at all. Who you got, Justin?
I'm gonna go Texas as well, just because retweet whatever or what you said, Chris, and then just think they're mad and they're gonna keep tearing.
I think Texas wins the game. I don't think they cover. I'm going with Iowa State.
Iowa State. All right. Now the game we all know everything about. ODU, Old Dominion, at Coastal Carolina, undefeated. 11.5-point favorites are the Chanticleers. The Monarchs.
I'm not picking against Coastal at home in particular. I mean, ODU gets into town. Yeah, the Teal Field, they get into town. They try to sneak off to the beach while they're down there, that kind of thing. Well, maybe not, because Old Dominion is in Norfolk, which is they're at a beach.
Yeah,
so the beach ain't that big a deal to them, maybe. But I'm going with Coastal.
It's probably a little warmer in Carolina than it is in Norfolk.
In Virginia.
But I too am going to go with the Chanticleers, even though they make me angry calling themselves the Chanticleers. They were too chicken to call themselves Gamecocks.
Well, there were already Gamecocks in their state, so
they're a knockoff. I mean, just if you're going to say, "Hey, we're the same thing as you," just be the same thing.
Listen to you. What you got, Justin?
I'm gonna go ODU, just because I like their logo.
Okay, well, it's a solid reason. It's as good of a reason as I've got.
All right, there you go.
I'm surprised he didn't go with ODU, mistaking them for ODB.
Oh, yeah.
Or OPP.
Yeah. OPP we can say on the air. ODB we can't. All right, 2:30 Saturday, ACC Network. ACC Network, not ABC. ACC Network. Number 15 NC State at the Carrier Dome. The Orange, number 18 Syracuse. 4.5-point favorites are the Orange.
That's crazy.
It's a little wild.
Favorites.
That's crazy.
Listen, the Carrier Dome has got some magic in it.
It's
right
got some
now,
mojo. It does.
and I'm taking the Orange to cover 4.5.
Ooh.
Justin?
I'm gonna go NC State. I've always liked their program and their defense.
Can't believe I'm going against Cousin K, but
I'm going to go NC State as well. I think this is a game that NC State needs to win, and I think they figure out a way on the road to get it done.
What's the system got?
the system, Syracuse.
Oh, nice.
Number 25, James Madison, the Dukes. At Georgia Southern, who are 10.5-point home dogs, are Clay Helton and his Eagles. 3 o'clock on ESPN Plus. James Madison, number 25, James Madison.
The Dukes in their first year coming up from FCS.
Insane.
Breaking through.
Insane.
It is. It is. James Madison beat MTSU in the season opener 44-7. Georgia Southern has beaten MTSU in previous years, knocking them out of national championship opportunities.
But
so I don't like either of these teams.
But Georgia Southern is suffering from the Husker Hex. So just throwing that out there.
Oh, no doubt. I'm going with JMU in this
I am
one.
too. I got James Madison. The Dukes cover 10.5 easy.
I think so as well. I'm gonna go with that pick as well, just because since Georgia State beat Vols that bad the other year, I just don't like any school from Georgia.
There you go. You're just like,
all of them.
Yeah. Understandably, I don't like it. I don't like any of the schools from Georgia now that I think about it.
Right.
I like their softball program at Georgia Southern. That's about it.
I like Georgia Tech.
I was going to say their campus is nice.
We have a local kid down there. Of course, they're not playing him, but he's down there. So
Brent Key.
Anyway, yeah.
Stanford at Notre Dame. Notre Dame, 15.5-point favorites against the Cardinal. This one is on NBC at 6:30.
Stanford's not great.
They're not. But neither is Notre Dame, really. I don't know that they're 15.5 points better than Stanford.
That's a lot of points.
That's a good point.
I don't know.
I think I have less faith in Stanford at this point than I do in Notre Dame. I think that's the basis for me taking the Irish in this
one. It's at Notre Dame. It's a long trip. I think you talked me into it.
Don't put that evil on me.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go Notre Dame too.
Yeah, I not to follow the bandwagon, but I think so too. You convinced me. Really, Chris, you did. After it was a double stack of convincing because you said they have to travel that far.
What's the system say?
The system, Stanford.
There you go.
6:30 SEC Network. It's the SEC Network game of the week. Number 16, Mississippi State at number 22, Kentucky. Kentucky, 6.5-point dogs. That's it. Oh.
Man.
Will Levis plays, Kentucky wins. I don't know if Will Levis is going to play. I haven't done enough research to know.
I think my key is the other Will. Rogers.
I think Kentucky's defense is pretty good.
I think Mississippi State's playing pretty good ball right now. I'm on the I'm rolling with the Pirates. Yeah, I'm rolling with the Pirate. Give me Captain Hook. I got Mississippi State.
Me too.
I'm going Kentucky.
Okay.
I'm going Kentucky, and I look at this and I can't get the preview up, so I just don't know. But yeah, so if Will Levis plays, Kentucky wins the game. Big Ten Network, 6:30, Nebraska at Purdue. Purdue, 12.5-point favorites at home. Nebraska coming around. Does Purdue want to be a Husker Hex victim? I don't know. Purdue's got such a good quarterback, though. They've got the best receiver in the country. They've got a good quarterback, but he does make mistakes.
The last 3 games, I'm sorry. That's not right. But we've got local involvement in both that Kentucky game with the Wade twins and in this Purdue game with TJ Sheffield. So that's worth paying attention to, in addition to the receiver from Purdue that you love.
Yeah, Aiden O'Connell.
But
who is Nebraska playing at quarterback right now? That is the question. That's the question I'm trying to find out. I don't know if they're playing Casey Thompson or if they're playing the kid from Muscle Shoals.
I think it's Casey Thompson. Unless he's hurt. He's not hurt, is he?
I don't know. He's 9 touchdowns, 8 picks on the year. It's man.
Purdue should win this ball game, you feel like.
Purdue should win. Well, they win it by 2 touchdowns. That's not something Nebraska typically does, is lose by
big.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to take Nebraska.
Yeah. I think you just talked me into it, too.
Yeah, I'm going against the Boilermakers as well.
I hate that.
Who next?
Well, by the way, the system takes Nebraska as well.
Oh, it's unanimous.
What was it? The Hex, or was the Husker Hex?
Yeah, so everyone who's lost to Nebraska or everyone who has beaten Nebraska to this point is
hasn't won since.
Is 1-11 in games since.
That's great.
And Marshall hasn't beaten an FBS opponent since beating Notre Dame. Wow, it's insane. It's insane. Here it is, number 3 Alabama. Neyland Stadium's going to be rocking. Peyton Manning's going to be in the house. It's going to be an insane atmosphere, an orange out, all orange pom-poms on every seat inside the stadium. What?
On every seat?
Well,
I guarantee you not all of those are going to get used.
Yeah, I bet there's a little sliver over there where the $1 Million Band and some other Alabama fans are sitting that won't get them.
And Peyton by himself.
Jim Dunaway made a point, and it's a point I've made, that Tennessee's opponents have been kind of meh.
Alabama's not meh.
Well, a response on Twitter from V. Todd W. says, let's take an objective look at strength of schedule for UT and Bama per NCAA rankings for total offense and defense. An average total defense of 84.8 and an average total offense of 76.8 for Alabama. Tennessee's opponents averaged 77.4 total defense and 64th overall on offense. So whose wins have been less impressive? That is a heck of a stat I had not seen. So, Todd, I give you props there. you might have just made me feel a little bit better about this football game.
About the game or about your pick?
About the game as a Tennessee fan.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky Top.
Okay. No.
So who's it going to be? Is it going to be the orange and white or the crimson and white? I don't know.
Well, who are you picking?
Justin, who you got?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take my biased hat off, even though every single pick I've done up to this point has been emotional. And I'm gonna go. I'm sorry, but Alabama, just because for record's sake, I'm a Vols fan, but I just can't see it. I can't vision it. The Vols winning.
All right. Well, fact is that Peyton Manning's going to be in the building.
He's a guest.
What? The streak ends. The curse is broken.
Oh no! Of course so.
Yeah.
You had to work really hard for that. You had to work really, really hard for that.
The Manning jersey in the back.
It worked. Vols, baby.
Balls, baby. Well,
Wish that
I'm gonna tell you what.
I
I won't mind being wrong, but they're gonna have to prove me wrong. I'm taking Alabama. So I have a tough time picking upsets.
Switching the helmets. What are you talking about? Alabama.
I know that. I felt bad saying it.
We're breaking the curse.
I will not mind if you're right. How's that? But they're just going to have to.
Well said.
They're going to have to do it. They're going to have to make me wrong.
They may not win the game, but they're covering 6.5 by Georgia.
That'd be a heck of a ball
It's up
game.
to 9 now, by the way.
We're not picking it at 9.
We're not picking it at 9.
Yeah. So.
Oh, there you have it. That's our Friday night or Friday afternoon show. Thank you guys for hanging out with
Friday
us.
afternoon show in more ways than one.
All
Yeah.
the shows. I even had the shirt tucked in. It still came out. It's ridiculous. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate you guys. We will have
That should do wonders for our views.
I hope it does. I hope it just aluminum.
That was amazing.
We're gonna have all those interviews from all week long cut out again tomorrow morning. You can catch all of our Tennessee and Alabama coverage from all week long. We'll
and
put that
we've
out
already
tomorrow
got some David Cutcliffe insight from our visit at the SEC Media Days
We have.
on that 1995 game, and specifically that first play from Manning to Kent.
So I know we're way over time, but I don't care.
Not way, only 2 minutes.
So Greg McElroy and Peyton Manning had a conversation about that.
Hmm.
Now, the conversation we had with David Cutcliffe was they were on the bus, and Cut said, listen, they're going to jump that hitch. You throw it to Joe, and he's going to go. Peyton says –
So you got a different recollection?
Not necessarily different, but he said, I think Alabama was filming our practices because they had 3 guys jump the hitch. And it's exactly what Cutcliffe said was going to happen. He said, be ready because the corner is going to jump that hitch and the outside backer is going to jump too. If you throw it to Kent over the top in the seam, he's got a chance to score. And so it's funny because Peyton's like, why would they jump the hitch? Bill Oliver's why. Bill Oliver had he and Cutcliffe played chess every time they played one another. And it was fun to watch. So it's just interesting to hear him say, I think they were filming our practices. And McElroy's like, yeah, see how you get that little subtle jab in there. But yeah, it's going to be a fantastic football game. I can't wait. And unfortunately, we'll have to watch it we'll
have
inning.
divided attention at best because obviously the Braves and Phillies play game 4 at 1:07 start. Right. And I'll actually be this was not great planning on my part, but I'm going to homecoming.
It's okay.
Western Kentucky and Middle, and that's a 2:30 kick as well. So
it's all right. I'm sure
I'll just be sure that that my phone is charged.
Yeah, you'll be able to keep up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it. Speaking of divided attention, we have 3 minutes to get out of here before first pitch, so we're going to do it right now. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. This has been a fantastic week. You guys are awesome. And for Justin Kulik I'm Chris Yalmo.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend